main event, Israel Vasquez versus Rafael Marquez for the WBC Super Bantamweight Championship. Let's get the official introductions from our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Home Depot Center here in Carson, California for the much anticipated featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Gary Shaw Productions, Sequan Ringside Promotions, and Golden Boy Promotions in association with Rockstar Energy Drink, AEG, and Showtime. Well, fans, this bout is sanctioned by the WBC. Resident Jose Suleiman, supervisors are Lee Peters and Rudy Tellez. Along with the California State Athletic Commission, the executive officer is Armando Garcia. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Paul Wallace, Dr. Perlman Hicks, and Dr. Blair Cranston. Timekeepers at the bell, also keeping count of the knockdowns, John Lichty and Mike Millsap. Introducing to you our three judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Las Vegas, Nevada, Dave Moretti. From Valencia, California, Jack Reese. And from La Mesa, California, Patrick Russell. And at this time, we present our third man of the ring, the referee in charge from West Covina, California, Raul Cais Jr. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Super Bantamweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from the Home Depot Center, it's showtime! Introducing to you first the challenger on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with white trim, hailing from Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. He weighed in at 121.5 pounds with a record of 36 wins and 3 losses. He has 32 big wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight he moves up in weight and challenges for the title. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the IBF and IBO Bantamweight Champion of the world, introducing Rafael and his opponent across the ring on my right, the defending world champion, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue trunks with silver trim, fighting out of Los Angeles, California, by way of Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. He weighed in at a ready 121.75 pounds. His record stands at 41 wins, 3 losses, 31 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight he is making the 6th defense of his title. Here is the WBC Super Bantamweight Champion of the world, introducing Israel And once again, a referee in charge, Raul Cais Jr., now to give instructions.
Chief, second only, please. Protector. Protector. Protector, por favor. Ok, ya les di las instrucciones abajo. Quería una pelea limpia, ok. Toca guante, buenos estos los dos. Aquí para arriba es legal, ok. Que vean los dos, ok. Buen aspecto los dos.
And let's check the results of our text message voting. Who will be the winner? How about this, Al? Wow, Marquez 69% to 28%. Overwhelming.
That's a big margin for a fight that most people think is a pick-em fight. We'll see. Maybe the viewers know something we don't know.
Well, both fighters proclaim they will not waste time. They'll start throwing from the bell. It'll grow even more intense each round. Here we go. Marquez in the black, Vasquez in the blue. The champion Israel Vasquez, who can change a fight with one punch, said he'll look to get inside and apply pressure. You don't want to get too close to Vasquez. Marquez has dramatically improved his boxing IQ and combines skill with extraordinary power in both hands. A very accurate combination puncher.
In this early going, several things to look for. Marquez wants to just have the slightest of movement to make sure he's not standing right in front of Vazquez. And Vazquez wants to jab his way in when he's going to attack. So we'll see if both men are doing that.
We'll look to see if Marquez can absorb Vazquez's punching power. And will his punches be just as strong at super bantamweight as they were at bantam? Interestingly, Vazquez said Marquez fades as the fight goes on, as the fight progresses, but I'm not so sure about that.
Well, we'll see. You know, there may be lapses, and we'll get into that a little later for Marquez, but these early rounds, really important for Marquez. He wants to get on the scorecard and take advantage of the fact that maybe he will start a little quicker. We'll see if he can do that. Right now, very even first round, though Vazquez, I think, has been a little sharper.
Marquez wants to control the action, much like Johnny Gonzalez did earlier on against Vazquez, until Vazquez solved that puzzle and got inside on the long, tall Johnny Gonzalez.
These fighters are perfectly matched. It's really interesting. Even in this first round, which hasn't produced wild fireworks, but good, solid action, you can see they are both matched very well in terms of their styles, and you know it'll be interesting.
Recently, Vazquez stopped Gonzalez, Ivan Hernandez. Here's Marquez with a left hand upstairs.
They both traded left hooks there. Both landed. And that's the punch, I'm telling you. If there's a knockout in this fight, I believe it will come from the left hook of one of these two fighters.
Vazquez missing with a slashing right. Landed with a left hand.
Vazquez is trying very hard to get downstairs with that left to the body.
Blood already from the nose of Israel Vasquez. And there's a hard left hand to the chest area by Marquez. And a double left hook to the body by Marquez.
That was a combination. Before that, a jab and then a left hand by Marquez, the kind that he can land so effectively.
It's finding a home early. Final seconds of round one. Here comes Marquez with a beautiful combination to the head. Now, a left uppercut to the jaw. It backs up Vazquez. So a fight breaks out right away. And Vazquez in some trouble.
A big right hand by Marquez hurt him.
It jolted Israel Vasquez. Big round for Marquez.
Don't wait on this guy. You get out first for me, okay? All right, get your jab going. Double that jab up for me, okay?
They traded left hooks early in the round. Vazquez's landed, and then Marquez's did. And Marquez's left, I think, created the blood around the nose. But later on, it would be a straight right hand by Marquez after the jab that would stun Israel Vasquez. And the early edge and power goes to Marquez.
Vazquez's knees actually buckling in that scenario. Round two. But you can never count Vazquez out because of his power. Two guys with questionable defenses, which makes this so exciting. Let's see how Vazquez reacts after being rocked towards the end of that first round. So as advertised, they both come out throwing. And Marquez so far with the upper hand.
And they're both such good ring technicians, especially offensively. It's like watching a clinic of good boxing.
Marquez more technically polished perhaps than Vazquez. There's that right uppercut just missing by Vazquez.
And you know, that's the wild card in this fight. Oh,
big right hand to the jaw by Marquez.
The uppercut's the wild card. Both men have a good uppercut. They have to be careful when they throw it to not leave themselves open.
And Vazquez is finding out that Marquez does indeed have power in both hands.
And remember, in some ways, this fight is going to form. Many people thought Marquez would do better in the early going. The question is, could he win this fight in the early going and not let Vazquez later on come on?
Yeah, once again, you can never count a guy like Vazquez out. Anytime you have a puncher like Vazquez, he's always in it. He could be way behind, and he's still in it. Inside uppercut by Marquez. Vazquez blocking that jab. Vazquez trying to settle down and find the openings. Marquez pushes Vazquez back with a double jab. Now Vazquez counters with a triple jab. Another jab got through that time by Vazquez.
Right now, a slight edge in hand speed to Rafael Marquez, and he's throwing better combinations, and that's what's making the difference in these first couple of rounds.
Vazquez digging in with uppercuts on the inside. Nice, strong jab by Marquez.
Now Vazquez on the inside is throwing that hook to the body. He wants to come with the double left hook, and I think that's part of the way he's setting it up.
Heavy right, straight right by Marquez that landed to the jaw. Vazquez tasting a lot of leather here in the first 2 rounds.
The last round and a half, Rafael Marquez has been as good as he could possibly be.
He seemed kind of tight, but he's not fighting that way.
No, he isn't.
Vazquez seemed the looser of the two, but he is down. He's behind to this point.
The right. You need to keep working the right hand, and then the jab. You okay? All right, now a little Vaseline. You got it right and then left. And alive, Rafa.
Nacho Beristain, the famed trainer from Mexico, wants more of this punch. There's an excellent lead right hand by Rafael Marquez. So early he landed the hook, but then that right hand has become the weapon du jour for him, and he lands a good, solid right hand to the head of Vazquez.
Nacho Beristain very responsible for transforming Rafael Marquez into an excellent boxer. We already knew he had the power, but now he's able to combine those 2 key elements. Round 3.
We thought this fight would turn on who makes either the first mistakes or the most mistakes. And right now, for Vazquez, part of the reason he's getting hit with those right hands is one of the keys. His jab's a little lazy and his left hand's a little bit low, and Marquez is able to get his right hand in.
And Marquez's punches not only dangerous, but they're slashing type punches, and they often cause or can exacerbate cuts. Just ask Silence Mabuza.
Vazquez was in a very good rhythm for the first part of round 1, but hasn't been since then.
He's been slowed by the punching power of Rafael Marquez.
Now, right in there on the inside, Vazquez was able to get the right-handed, but hasn't been able to uncoil the left hook when he's in there. He needs that punch even more than Marquez.
Marquez with a heavy right. It sent Vazquez back. Oh, did that get Vazquez's attention? Now a left hook to the jaw. Whoa. And down goes Marquez. Vazquez knocks Marquez down. A left hook nailed Marquez, and he went sprawling to the canvas. Marquez down for the 3rd time in his career. Round 3 with 1:14 remaining. And sustained, non-stop, 2-way action. Just when it looked like Marquez was having his way, down he went. And he's got a minute to go.
Vazquez is now uncoiling that left hook, and that's what made the difference. He was able to get that punch off.
guys have tasted the canvas before. Both usually come back with renewed vigor. They prosper from adversity. We'll see how it affects Marquez.
Vazquez has not been wild in his attack. He has been cautious. He knows Marquez is dangerous. He doesn't want to let the moment pass.
A lot of folks wouldn't be surprised now if Vazquez went down. 20 seconds left in the third round. It is as advertised. Most of the fans here at the Home Depot Center standing.
10 segundos para la campana, 10 segundos. Tira golpes ahí, Santi.
As we head for the bell in a breakthrough round for Israel Vasquez.
You're hurting him, but nothing happened. Nothing happened. You got to keep going. When you hit hard, and you got to keep alive because he throws two. Are you okay? Yes.
Rafael Marquez got off to a very good start in the third round, ripping the uppercuts, good combinations by Marquez, and even hurt Vazquez there with that right hand. So it looked like Marquez had things well in hand. However, that left hook on the inside changed the round. As we know, and you've pointed out, those left hooks can from Vazquez.
Final instructions from Nacho Beristain, who said, all right, nothing happened. He was trying to just calm Rafael Marquez down as we enter into round 4 after a very dramatic third round.
The interesting thing is, if you had asked people to take a bet who would go down in the first 5 rounds, they would have probably suggested Vazquez, and Vazquez was hurt in this earlier in this fight, but instead it was Marquez.
So a lot of back and forth, give and take, just as the two fighters felt it would be. And as we expected, both men committed to giving the fans an all-action fight, and they're living up to that commitment right here.
One thing we've not seen as much from yet from these fighters is the body work. They're both great body punchers, and we may start seeing that in the rounds to come.
The fans in unison chanting for Marquez.
The Marquez jab has been very effective, and probably he's out-jabbed Vazquez by just a little bit.
So Marquez down 1:28 into round 3. A right-left combination, but the left hook did the damage after Marquez was pretty much controlling the action. Marquez drawing blood from Vazquez's nose late in the first round. Oh, these are tough, hard inside body shots by Marquez. It's got Vazquez grimacing.
Now, I thought that the Vazquez left hook was an important weapon in this fight. I thought Marquez's left hook might be his major weapon, but now it appears if he hooks with Vazquez, Marquez is in a little bit more danger than he needs to be, Steve. So I think Nacho Beristain rightfully wants the right hand for Marquez more.
Vazquez trying to weaken Marquez with blistering shots to the temple.
Vazquez came very close with another one of those left hooks.
The jab of Marquez sending Vazquez back.
What a close round, round 4 is.
Oh, big swing and a miss. Combination to the head by Marquez. Very accurate, sharp, precision-like punches by Marquez. He's probably scored more clean and hard shots throughout the fight, although he's the one that tasted the canvas. Here's Vazquez. Again, tasting leather.
Marquez
great jab set up the right.
Wow, nice combinations. And again, the right hand, the big weapon for Marquez there.
Good rallying by Marquez after a tough third round in which he went down. Marquez showing a lot of poise, able to regroup well.
Deep breath. this man, you've got to get off your combinations. Don't let him get off first. Okay? All right? On the inside, you're going to let your hands go, okay? All right. Let's go, Israel. When you're on the inside, you're letting him get off first. I want you to get off first, okay? Okay. Okay.
The left hand. You got to throw the left hand. Just keep him away with the left hand. Keep jabbing. And then the right hand. Left, left, and then the upper, and then the right. Combination.
Our translator, Felix De Jesus. Israel Vasquez understands English, but he responds in Spanish. Rafael Marquez does not speak English.
Neither of these fighters have ever lost a title match. 6-0 for Vazquez, 8-0 for Marquez. Even if there's a draw, that record will change tonight.
Oh, nice left-right combination by Israel Vasquez. Back comes Rafael Marquez with a combination of his own. Oh, a big right hand up. The combination by Marquez. Tremendous give and take.
Nacho Beristain rightfully wanting Marquez to use the jab a lot. That will set up the right hand. And Freddie Roach correct. Vasquez cannot let Marquez get off first all the time in this fight.
A lot of people comparing this early on to Castillo Corrales 1, and it's starting to take on that special feeling.
I think the trick for Vasquez in this fight is to get in position inside where he can again keep throwing those hooks. That's his ticket in this fight. He won't outbox Marquez from the outside, just as he couldn't do that against Johnny Gonzalez.
Press row scoring. It's close. Marquez by 1 point right across the board. Carlos.
Exactly the way I have it.
Carlos Arias, Orange County Register. Steve Kim, MaxBoxing.com. Lance Pugmire from the LA Times. A warning to Israel Vasquez from referee Ryan Cayes Jr. hitting behind the head. Vasquez pushing Marquez back.
Now that was a good right hand from Vasquez. That's not his primary weapon in this fight, but he has a good right hand.
Right uppercut, right on the chin by Rafael Marquez. They continue to trade vicious punches.
Wow, there's the body work by Vasquez. He's been a little more committed to it in this fight than Marquez has. Oh, good work on the inside.
Right hand to the side of the head by Vasquez. Explosive, dynamic action. A straight left hand on the neck jaw area by Vasquez. Marquez issues a flurry. Sets up the right with the left jab, but the right missed. Back comes Vasquez with a left hook off the top of Marquez's head.
We're going to see another big left hook land by Vasquez. I don't know when it's going to come, but it's going to come in the next couple of rounds.
Right hand by Marquez with authority. What conviction behind that punch.
Great combinations by Marquez.
Vasquez is hurt. Marquez going in for the finish. He wants to close the show. Vasquez, all of a sudden, in a lull, he stopped for a moment for some reason. And Marquez is trying to take advantage as the bell sounds.
I think he was faking it. I think he was trying to lure him in. I don't know. That's an interesting situation.
Check out his nose.
He may have gotten thumbed.
Nose okay.
Okay. Just making sure, Doc.
I think he was claiming he got thumbed out.
Rafael Marquez, early on in the round, precision combination punching, very effective from the outside. And then Vasquez was able to come back, throwing that good straight right hand, a lead right that got by the defense of Marquez. But the volume of punches, clearly Marquez. Now here's where maybe the thumb or something happened. Yeah, apparently there was something that made him not be able to see it. And you see Vasquez realize, I've got to fight back or I will get nailed here. And so he did. So yeah, it was something that happened with his eye.
And Vasquez comes running out of his corner to start round 6.
Now, that left eye could close a little bit. Whatever happened there, this might have some impact on the vision of Vazquez. Now there's a double left hook by Vazquez. He better get to throwing that weapon in this fight before things get away from him.
Now showing a sense of urgency is Israel Vasquez as he really pumps up the volume here in round number 6. The jab of Marquez has been so effective, keeping Vazquez off balance and setting up the power shots. Left uppercut misses by Vazquez. Raul Caiz Jr., the referee went to stand saying that Vazquez was thumbed up the nose, which caused Vazquez to momentarily stop, and then Marquez jumped on the situation. The Vazquez realized, I got to fight back. He just nailed Marquez on the head. Marquez turns him around.
Now, you know, in every Rafael Marquez fight, or most of them, against Silence Mabuza and several others, Marquez has had little lull periods, Stephen, that somewhere between the 3rd and 7th round. And that's what Vazquez was counting on. Now, we haven't seen it yet. In fact, he was able to get to Marquez early, but in these rounds, Marquez has retained sharpness.
And I think it's more mental than physical, because he's in tip-top condition as he trains in the high altitude of the Mexican mountains. The crowd chanting for Marquez.
Vazquez has picked things up a bit, though, in this round. 6 has been a little better for him. Whether he's winning it remains to be seen, but he's off to a better start anyway in this round.
Shaking the effects of the alleged thumbing.
The Marquez jab has just been excellent, and there he jabbed downstairs, and that helped set up that right hand by Marquez.
Non-stop action from the start of this fight. Minute to go in the 6th. It's scheduled for 12 for the WBC Super Bantamweight Championship. Israel Vasquez, the champion, in the blue with the silver trim. Rafael Marquez, the challenger, in the black with the white trim. Vasquez 41-3 with 31 knockouts. Marquez 36-3, 32 knockouts, both undefeated in title fights. Marquez pushing Vazquez back with the double jab. Back comes Vazquez now. Right hand to the head.
On the inside, Vazquez can do better than Marquez for the most part, and he's committed more to the body work.
And they continue to gun away from close range. There's that jab by Marquez. Continues to be effective.
Rafael Marquez very accurate with his combinations. Tough round to score.
Both with a very high work rate throughout.
Now here, Israel. You work that body for me, and then back to the head is going to work for you, okay? All right? All right? Israel, he's tired. The body shots are killing him. Keep on the body.
You know, Nacho Beristain told Marquez, be alive in there. Example of what I think he means. Here, Vazquez attacking. Marquez pushes him around, but is ready to punch and lands a good lead right hand the moment Vazquez turns around. Instead of not punching, he went right after him, but waited until his head had turned around so he didn't get an illegal punch call. Vazquez attacking. Now the referee's nowhere to be seen, so Marquez says, I'm going to attack him after I kind of twist him around. Good, clever maneuver by Marquez.
Although Vazquez denied it, he may have had his nose broken in the Johnny Gonzalez fight, and his nose looks a mess here now, particularly after that alleged thumbing.
Freddie Roach made a point to ask Vazquez for a lot of body work. They think maybe that body work will help him as this fight wears on, and it probably will.
Oh, big left hook by Vazquez. Oh, man, that just took the starch out of Rafael Marquez. Huge shot, a bomb.
Boy, and yet Marquez able to sustain through that. That looked like a monster shot, but Marquez still in there battling.
That just stopped Marquez in his tracks. And he hasn't been the same since. Big left hook there by Israel Vasquez. Let's see if that turns it here. Another left hand to the jaw by Vazquez. Marquez and Vazquez both very hittable. You see the scores. Each has it by 3 for Marquez.
That's exactly how I have this fight. 58-55 for Marquez. The volume of punches much better for Rafael Marquez. There's no question about that. Not that Vazquez is landing his share. It's just that Marquez landing more.
And I don't know, whose punches are harder on the whole?
Well, I think Marquez has landed some very big shots. So is Vazquez. But
so is Vazquez.
You know, so in terms of power, it's tough to tell. Good body work there by Vazquez, but the combination from the outside clearly better for Rafael Marquez, and that's why he's ahead on the scoring of the press row people in my scoring.
Well, Vazquez coming on, big left hand there. Back comes Marquez.
This is great. I mean, both these fighters doing little things, subtle things, throwing punches with power. It's just an excellent boxing match.
Left hook blocked by Vazquez.
And it's okay to block one. It really is.
I'd say so. Almost no let up in the action.
And you know, in round 6 and 7, Vazquez has really been committed to the body work. We'll see if that will slow Marquez down at all as this fight wears on.
These two guys have to be in incredible condition to withstand this kind of punishment and to issue these kinds of punches over and over again. Marquez with the left uppercut. Now the left was blocked by Vazquez. Vazquez with a left-right combination coming on. Vazquez turns it up. Back comes Marquez.
Oh, wow.
And they trade, going toe-to-toe in the center of the ring.
Israel Vasquez early in the round lands this unbelievable left hook. Marquez, while he took that punch really well, that's astonishing. Then Marquez with Vazquez landing the jab and landing some good punches behind it. But Marquez coming back with a couple shots.
What's happening? It's over. Israel Vasquez has quit.
Wow.
I don't believe it. Rafael Marquez is the winner. Out of nowhere, Israel Vasquez decides not to go on, and you have to go back to perhaps the issue of the nose. Maybe he just can't breathe.
I mean, we see the blood coming from it. We're not going to speculate. We'll get information as we go on that, but certainly it's conceivable that's the reason.
Out of nowhere, Al, Vazquez just strolled over to the Marquez corner and waved it off. And a jubilant Rafael Marquez has snatched the title away. Unbelievable finish.
The irony is it came after the 7th round, the round in which Vazquez thought he was going to win this fight.
Getting the report now that Vazquez broke his nose. That's that point in time when he turned away.
Yep.
And he just feels that he can't continue with that situation.
Well, it put an abrupt end to what, over 7 rounds.